Still sounds good. Hey, welcome back to the Real World Garage. Here we go. Well guys, today's video was going to be on fixing this stupid steering column again. Last time I did it, I was in a hurry, didn't have my Loctite, just cinched them down, said, well, it'll be all right. Well, guess what? GM, good old GM. So anyway, today we will be doing a little maintenance on that, the wife's RAV4. Hello and welcome back to the Real World Garage. Today, basic maintenance. Just doing an oil change on the wife's vehicle, coming up on 10,000 miles, running the full synthetic Mobil 1. Filter is supposed to be rated for 20,000 miles, but we're changing it at 10, and the fully synthetic oil is supposed to be rated for 20,000 miles, and I'm also changing it at 10. I trust the technology, but I also know that it's cheaper to change oil than it is to replace that engine. So let's get into it. Well, over the last few years, many auto manufacturers have gone back to the old cartridge style oil filters, in which they just incorporate the housing into the, oh, that's going to turn the whole rig off. Alright, let's see if we can get this baby on here. I bought and modified my own oil filter tool, went to AutoZone, and just bought the generic tool that fit the housing, and then was able to just drill. Oh, that baby's on there. I was able to drill the center out so you could put a socket and extension, just square drive up through the middle. There we go. Come on off there, baby. There you go. Let's see if we can get that out. Yeah, they got a, it may dribble a couple drops of oil, but nothing serious. You have to take the special tool that comes with your oil filter kit to drain the housing. So let's get into that. All right, let's see if we can find a little small drain pan to put up under here. Catch my mess. I don't have one, but we can make one real quick. Razor knife to the rescue. Okay. We can get my little hands out of the way. There it comes. Do, 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 do. Makes you want to pee, doesn't it? Well, that's probably enough. Let's see if we can sneak in here without getting oil all over ourselves. There we go. Drip, 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 drip. Okay. Well, you want to keep up with that. It comes with every oil filter kit, but if you ever had to take the oil filter off for some other reason and you had thrown this away, then you got to go buy an oil filter kit just for this tool. So just keep up with it. Put it somewhere you can find it in your garage. Let's just spin that on there just so we can keep up with it. All right. Lock that on. Ah, mother of pearl. Mother. Come on, baby. Yeah. Yowza. She's snug. It's just the O-ring biting in up there. I need to find my 7/8 socket and get a long extension, but I'm still putting my garage together because we're still doing work to this house. So I have yet to get my garage completely together. All right, and there we go. And dump the rest into the oil pan. All right, I'm gonna set that to the side. I want to talk about oil filters a little bit. Good grief. I have a cheap oil filter and I have a mobile oil filter, and we'll discuss the difference between the two. Okay, I have the oil filters here. You have the Walmart brand, which is the cheapest of the cheap. It is probably one of the worst oil filters I think I have ever seen. I don't know that I would use it on a lawnmower. The Mobile One filter, the extended performance, 1 year, 20,000 mile, as you would expect. You pay $15, $16 for this filter, and you would expect it to be a high quality item, and it is. Let's unbox them and talk about them and look at them. We'll do a side-by-side comparison. The quality of the O-rings in the kit, there's a vast difference. These look like they appear to be just black standard rubber O-rings, which is, I guess is okay. But the O-rings in your Mobile One kit, they're high quality. They appear to be like a Viton rubber possibly, and like I said, they seem to be a little more pliable than the ones that come with the Walmart kit. And this is you can probably read it on there. It's the ST9972. It is for 2015 RAV4, and this is the Mobile One filters, the M1C-251A. Now, let's lay these filters side by side. You can see the construction is completely different. This is like just pleated and glued paper, filter paper, and they have these rubber ends to encapsulate the ends. It is a product de China, as you can see it's written right there. And there's nothing really to seal these ends. It's just a hard plastic. So oil can get around this filter. And so you will end up with unfiltered oil passing back through the engine. Now, if you look at the Mobile One filter, you see, what's one of the first things you see? product of USA. You have steel end caps, and you have the same type rubber seal O-rings on each end. Importance of this, prevents any oil from bypassing the filter. It's going to force the oil to go through the filter. I mean, unless the filter becomes plugged, in which cases there's an internal pressure regulator, bypass regulator inside the oil filter housing, and of course it will allow the oil to bypass and still pump and get to your rods, mains, and up to through the engine. But as far as the filter is concerned, it seals and is forcing the oil to go through and be filtered. This is why this filter costs as much as it does, and it is also why it lasts for 20,000 miles. You can also count, if you look at the number of pleats per inch, you can also see that there's quite a few bit more pleats per inch, which means there's a lot more filter material available in this Mobil 1 filter. So is it worth the money? Absolutely, it's worth the money. This is a case of not all filters are made the same, okay? And I guess since they've gone back to the cartridge style, it allows you to actually look and see what you're getting. With an old spin-on filter in the steel canister, you just have to trust that the manufacturer has done a good job and put you a good filter media inside that steel housing. So, but let's get back into it. Let's go ahead and get this in and get the oil draining out of it. All right, let's wipe it down, clean rag, get some of the oil off of it. Got a little more residual, let's drain that. All right. Peel the old O-ring off. Open our package and get the new O-ring. Roll that little darling on there. Just a couple of drops of oil here. Slick that ring up. Alright. Don't suppose it matters which way this filter goes. Either way is fine. I always usually put the writing up. It doesn't really matter. Personal preference. And you've got the O-ring for the cap. Alright, let's get set up. Put it back in. Alright, we'll install the little O-ring on the cap on the bottom. Get where you can see. Do it by hand for now. Snug it up. Make sure it's in the groove. Snug the piece down by hand. Now, start it up in there by hand. All right. Now install the tool. And gently take it down. And gently tighten it until your wrist clicks. There we go. Now we can take and snug this up. All right. Probably should have just held it like that. All right. Tight enough. Just tap it and it'll come right off if it sticks. All right, so that's the filter. Now, let's move on to the oil drain plug. Let's get our pan set up and get the oil coming out of this little darling. Okay, drain plug on this thing's a 14 millimeter. Just bump it loose. So it's gonna be hard for you to see there because the exhaust's in the way, but trust me, I'm a mechanic. All right, we're gonna try to get out of the way of this pretty quickly because my wife just came back from a trip to the Wally Mart up the street and she's warm. All right. And don't forget to open the vent on your drain plug so it doesn't glug and slosh everywhere. I love the smell of oil in the morning. Sure love the new technology with the modern oils, being able to run them longer. But that doesn't negate the fact that you need to be checking your tires and you're doing your other maintenance and, you know, looking at a few things occasionally. It's still very important to keep up with the other maintenance. Automobiles in the last 20 years have come a very long way with regards to longevity and breakdowns per mile. The reliability of the automobile is really phenomenal. I'm gonna let that sit there and drizzle for a few minutes and get as much out as we can. There's always going to be residual left inside the engine that you'll never get out, and that's okay. You know, if you can get 95% of the oil out, you'll be fine. All right, we're down to just a whisper of a drizzle now. Let's just go ahead and put the lipstick on this pig and send her down the road. Oh. Click, 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 click. And we got the drain plug torque back in place. All right, let's go ahead and take and clean off the area. Go ahead and wipe down the oil filter housing. Make sure you don't have any residual drips, because when you come back, you know, you're checking this thing after you get it running, get it filled back up with oil, you won't have any way of knowing if you really got a leak or if you just didn't wipe it down good. So go ahead and wipe everything down. And if you're doing this for somebody else, well, they will look under there maybe one day or see a drip on the ground and think that they have an oil leak. So go ahead and wipe everything down good. All right, well, let's get her filled back up. Okay, let's go ahead and get our oil fill cap off. Set her over to the side. And grab my funnel, my oil. Make sure my funnel is clean. Try to keep it in a clean area of the shop so that keep a rag shoved down in it so it doesn't get all funky. Don't be putting any contaminants in the motor. Be bad. Okay. I don't know who all's familiar with this. This is Marble Mystery Oil. I use it in, use about a half a quart per oil change. It doesn't seem to. It keeps everything clean. It keeps all the little mechanisms inside of your the cam phasing and variable valve timing actuators. It keeps all of that stuff clean and operating like it's supposed to. I'm not a big additive kind of guy, but this I have used almost exclusively for years. This is the only type of additive that I have used. I have gone with some oil thickeners on some old engines that were wore out and had low compression, and also had low oil pressure, and have nursed them along with Lucas products and STP type products. But that we all know that's just a patch. This stuff actually serves as a maintenance item and helps keep everything clean and moving. It's been around, I'm thinking, since the 20s, and this product works. And like I said, I use about a half quart per oil change. And there we go, half a quart. All right, now we need to add 4 quarts of oil. Castrol Magnatech 5W20, fully synthetic. Although most major manufacturer synthetic oils are fine, the 5W30s, 5W20s, they'll do you a fine job. I'm not sure how I feel about the Walmart brand full synthetic oils. I'm sure they're probably okay. I have not seen any laboratory testing on them, so I can't speak to that, and I have not used very many of them. So let's see, this is I think this is the 5 quart jug. Yep, 1.25 US gallons, and I have, let's see, what's the quart side? Quart side, I have about a quarter quart to put left. Another dab. All right, so there's a quart left in here, so that should theoretically be full. Wipe off the stick. Actually shows that it's a tad low, but I am sitting up on an angle on these ramps, and it's up on slightly on a hill, so there's more than enough in it to go ahead and crank it. Let's go ahead and reinstall fill cap. All right, let's go ahead and crank it up. Okay, now it's time to reset our maintenance reminder. All right, we'll turn the key to the on position. Let everything boot up. Okay. All right, we want to change using the display button on the steering wheel. We're going to change to trip A. Once we've got reached trip A, you will turn the key off. You'll press and hold the display button and turn the key to the on position, and you'll notice you have a countdown going there, and you have all zeros, and then it comes back. Okay, and you notice the maintenance light off. Okay, something I do so that I can keep up with how many miles it's been since the oil was changed. This thing has two trips, trip A and trip B. I don't know of anybody that ever needs to keep up with trip B. So trip B is what I use whenever I change the oil, so I know exactly how many miles it's been. So now that I have reset the maintenance reminder, I will press and hold the display button and reset trip B to 0. Our vehicle has got 66,354 miles. Let's see. It also resets your mile per gallon average whenever you reset your maintenance like that. Nope, maybe I'm mistaken. It doesn't reset your miles per gallon average. That is your instant miles per gallon average. Let's go back and look at that again. That's your you can put it on that setting and monitor your driving and how your driving affects your miles per gallon. Our vehicle, we're getting an average of 27.8, and that's a combined city and highway driving. She got a little hustle when she needs to.